Hello, fellow Amberlanders, dear brothers and sisters, mothers, grandmothers, fathers, grandfathers, nieces, nephews, children. I hereby welcome you to another session of poetry reading and reading poetry about our motherland, Amberland. Today, I'll be reading from this collection, Vestiges. Vestiges. It is a collection of poems published in 2013, and most of the poems were written between 2009 and 2010. But before I read, as I have always done in most of my poetry reading, I would like to start by reading the blurb material or the editorial information which we have here on the back of the book. This is exactly what the publishers think of the book and why they think the book should be published and why they think people should read it. And what they have to say is this, I quote, "The poems in this collection are adequate with great lines. The rhythm is stimulating to all five senses thanks to the use of multiple images. A lot of imagery in Vestiges gives a picture of a war front after a ferocious battle. The objects, animals, and images in the poems disorient and lead the reader to focusing on putting flesh to the bones than just getting the juice of the poems. The rhythm, more than anything else, carries the reader through this chaotic tableau painted in Vestiges. In a way, this comes across as a substantiation of the poet's vision of our world and an explanation as to why he considers this collection as a skeleton, and precisely skeletons left by the ravages of war. Is the poet's world and ours a field of ruins and topsy-turvydom to which we are all blind? The answer is yours. So this is what the editors of the book, Vestiges, have to say of the poems. So I would now go or delve in the reading of the poem, of some of the poems therein, and just listen keenly. And I hope you enjoy the read. Thank you. Well, the first poem I've chosen to read is a poem entitled Our Rooftop Catacombs. And the poem simply reads, "Where I sit to give flesh to dry bones in poetry, I give all hand to can't stand on mahogany, then feast their eyes on my ailing father's mansion. 'Tis such none can rescue with an injection. This ailment upheld by slots feeding fat on dates, busy at work against the hopes we have on our slate, to retell our sleeping Mount Faco of his birth, to dig out all that which this calabash holds, death. He is all the dreck and to sprout shoots of misery with lengthy motions in hope to sit in history and not in the memory of our people, not in the memory our people have of him, as one who wrecks the hopes and makes power his whim, to which our censors, poets, refuse to beat their brow. Yet, those of the herded scribe would go for the here and now and cast our monster in the mold of habiliment. In a rampage as they do crave a part in government, not one by the people, but one on them imposed, to leave father's house with skeletal overdose, and a king and his, mentally and morally, with our people and their kin in ruin helplessly. Such flag bearers flag up the need for the big tree from which to see our abode bloom with lifeless trees. Thank you. All right, welcome once more. And the next poem I've chosen to read for you from this collection is entitled Disposition, This Position. And it reads, keep your money, keep your trophies, keep your glories. See me happy. Let my life without a strife, without wings, outfly sky high. You'd ask what on earth saddens you. Death of my sadness leaves you a mess, with you screaming your madness for the listed for money, trophies, sadness, glories. Your soul's desire, birthing quagmire. You, my foes, know I know your woes. This greed you breed won't let you breathe, wanting my life. Your goal in life is step so bold to steal the gold nature's given. You need taken away from me to make of me one and wretched, yet styled wicked, in which world dawns glow without fun. In their bastions, generations left to themselves help fill the shelves. Those of misery wiping memory of the pages, human pages, burned to ashes for being witches haunting this witch. We will make a stitch with a penned verse that will reverse this diffuse brain. That's put more strain on our beauty, and we are not free till happiness knocks your madness. Won't you accept such an accept to put an end to your mad trend, Mr. Beer? Shame on you. Thank you. Well, the third poem I would read in this video is entitled Dictatorship. We all know what it is. We have lived under, we have experienced it, and this is what the poem reads, or how the poem reads. A bunch of babbling, jargon-speaking lunatics. Penury dictates what some call charismatic, When they talk in tongues, they say they talk as if toes others used to talk. They point friends' silence as woes, yet popular dictum paints silence as golden. While for them babbling in tongues is ultra-modern, such demagogues would blend and spice their sweet promises that gives a luster to their grip on the masses. Seeing in them such articulateness unheard of by any of the cows that flock in such a herd, grazing under the falling goad of the headman for grace to avoid his ire against their demand. And what from birth is a birthright, none should reject, or as those behind Godhead do their own neglect. Thank you. All right, welcome, 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 fellow Amazonians. I chose another poem to read, and this is entitled, I Am Proud. And every Amazonian should be proud. Every Amberlander should be proud. Why should they be proud? Listen carefully how the poem reads. Death, you make me proud, and stack me a crowd with your bees to sting, with your snakes biting, where gloating vultures beacon dream matures, for thirsty leeches with lengthy speeches to convince sucking as good as docking a ship, a strange port, being the best sport. Death, must I wear pride, my gown like a bride's, snow pure with whiteness, goaded, it's my dream, drowning me downstream with you oblivious, but flagging devious incisors to blight innocence at night, whence you shall fall short and shall face the odd. Thank you. Why should I be pricked? I know yours all bleak. I wake up bemused. Your dreams are reduced, tatters to ribbon, bits, tickling gibbons, screaming of their lungs, chanting happy songs, lulling baby me with no busy bee, to steal or kill my calm where you lie. Lie, yes, death you lie. Life shall live, not die. Returns of witness, table your slyness, slicing in halves grains. Men sow for great gains. With thoughts such, a fall shall make you stand tall. The height above you I see soaring too, lifting up my heart as you fall apart. And fall apart, you shall fall apart, and my heart will be lifted and lifted up high, high in the sky. All right. I still picking from the volume. This one is called Spelling Victory. Why spelling victory? It is not the way Amberlander spelled victory. It is victory as spelled by the deadened brains and the dull brains of our neighbors of La République. And the poem reads, flowing from those taps by the Mongol, framed circuits, tracks on which slowly grow fossilizing, dead brains renowned drunk and stuck with stinking fats from skunks. Skunks used to mark their territory, staggering with feverish victory, sending the stench of dead rat hitting hard, all little brat, taking pride in their night flight, apprehensive of tried choir masters intone with hammers on stone, racking brains from eyes on eyes, drip, drip, I want to see liquid, or you should just quit, so none would see Mimbo in my cup. That has been giving us the hiccup, and Mimbo is what has been giving us the hiccup. Thank you. Okay, the next one, and probably one of the last I would like to read for this collection, is called A Gift to Us. Listen to what our parents, in a bit and love for their brothers east of the Mongol, decided they would join them, that they would have their independence by joining them. But little did they know, their brothers east of the Mongol had a special gift for them. And the poem I'm reading is just about the gift that the people east of the Mongol reserved for Southern Cameroonians. And for 57 years, we took this pain. We thought by being stoic, one day they would realize what they're doing. Something will prick their conscience. Something would let them know we deserve far better. But they made us bitter. And this poem reads, with our hands tied, they spoon feed us pain. We bathe in pain, and they reap the gain. Yet the cry we cry shall their song be, that will in their ears tinnitus be. To free the free birds in us, fee free. To fly sky high and perch on a tree, in their world they called free. Free to trade as in the years of yore they did trade. My kind of yore, their merchandise was. Their unkind heart beat and did far worse, till machines gain pricked them at conscience to show humanness as a new science, and whitewash the blood stain of their deed. A deed that's all been guided by greed, and today accounts for us, tied up and beaten as we boycott their shop. Thank you. Well, this next poem is titled Agony-Free Freedom. And in agony-free freedom is that freedom that is free of agony. And we shall fight till we are free without agony. And it reads, you see, the worst is still to come. I would rather covet the calm of today than agonize and kill a day blessed so nice. How would fear and worry change such cast molded to be strange if one stood or ran away from bloodbath rife either way? Here or across those bridges, you'd come by such stooges. They'll surround you either way with readiness to betray. The calm you would came with joy, sleeps not with their thoughtless ploy, to see you frantic and mad about them pricking you sad. With slogans, the worst is still to pop up and from you steal the agony-free freedom promised as a new kingdom. But the new kingdom, the new nation, Amberland, Ambazonia, Southern Cameroons is here to stay. Okay, once more, let me give us another reading. This one entitled Portuguese Lobster. I'm sure those familiar with the history of the Cameroons and the name Cameroon would know exactly the reference to Portuguese lobster. And the question this poem asks is if we were reduced to those lobsters, which are delicacies that others feast on, or if we have our place in humanity within the greater dispensation called the world. The poem reads, lobsters, these we are, with us cast in these nets. Their whips we must take, with sealed mouths as we are laid in ambush to untrap, like Von Trapp, who for sunrise runs over the ranges to avoid the icy cold hands of death, yet drags none down while he waits his last breath. They've made us lobsters. We must say we've made ourselves crabs. We must say this curtain must be on blame game drawn. Then joy shall we hawk, take and wear our crown. Thank you. I hope you did enjoy the reading and some of the explanation I had to give. I didn't go into any detailed analysis of the poem. I would leave that to the critics. I know I'm a literary critic, but it is not my place to critique the poems I write. All right, thank you very much and hope you enjoyed it. And I welcome your comments. If you view the video, let me know. If you like them, subscribe to my YouTube site. Thank you.